I am an action over words person. You know, what are your actions? People can say things. You get emotional. You know, we're all human here. You can say things and be clunky on social media. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. None of us are perfect. What do your actions tell me? What do you do in life? What is that signal? What is your intention on a daily basis? Your words I can get over. I love my wife. She said things that are hurtful. I've probably said things that are hurtful. What are our actions toward each other? Respectful, supportive. I'm into your actions. Words I can give or take. A lot of people make promises. Let's see your actions. So the New York Giants, their words are, we love Daniel Jones. He is the future. You should see him at practice. It's like Johnny Unitas meets Peyton Manning. He's amazing. Those are their words. What are the New York Giants' actions? Conservative play calling. They don't trust Daniel Jones. I mean, two guys for the Giants were making plays last night. Daniel Jones and Sterling Shepard. That was it. And yet, late in the game, they couldn't run the football. What do? Give it to Saquon Barkley twice. Can't run it. Then on third down, all right, Daniel, save us. A timeout. You're late in the game. Throw the ball. The Giants last night are telling you deep down in critical situations, well, run the football. Saquon Barkley had one big run all night. Giants couldn't run the football. Two guys made plays all night. Daniel Jones, Sterling Shepard. What are you doing? Daniel Jones threw the ball 14 times fewer than Taylor Heineke. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. Taylor Heineke was in his third career start. He's a backup. He has a defensive coach. Defensive coach, you know how they are. They love to win with defense. Mike Tomlin loved how the Steelers won last week. He loved it. Loved it. Pete Carroll has Russell Wilson. All right, run the football. Run. Ron Rivera wants to run the football. And their backup quarterback with 3 starts threw the ball 14 times more than Daniel Jones did. And Daniel Jones has a good receiving core. And Daniel Jones didn't last night have any running game. I mean, listen, he's 6'5". He's 220. Joey and I were talking about before the show. He's a big athlete. They're big. I mean, Daniel Jones, 6'5". I'm tall. Every room I walk into, I'm one of the tallest people. He's significantly bigger and taller than I am, and he runs fast. Cut it loose. Let him go. Let him play. I mean, think about this. The Washington football team has a converted wide receiver playing running back. Their tight end is a converted quarterback. Their backup quarterback is starting, and they were letting it loose last night. They were taking big chunks, big passes. Taylor, win the game for us. What are you doing? You got Kenny Golladay, Slayton, Shepard. I want to see 40 passes from Daniel Jones. Minimum. 40. I want to see more of these reads that he runs. He's pretty good at, pretty effective. I want to see more of those. 7, 8 a game. He's one of your playmakers. But you keep telling me how you love him. You're not showing me that you love him. That drive late in the game, you couldn't run the football all night. Put the ball in the hands of your 6'5", 220-pound quarterback who can run. So, yeah, I watched the Giants, and what do we know about the Giants? Head coach, I'm not sure. GM, I'm not sure. O-line, I hate. Kenny Golladay, yelling at people. Defensive personnel, not as good as I thought. Saquon Barkley's health, cross your fingers. So you don't really know what you are. So let's at least figure out Daniel Jones. So when the draft comes in April, and there's 4 or 5 quarterbacks out there, and you've got the 11th pick or the 9th pick, you know exactly what you need to do with it. Because when I look at the New York Giants right now, I don't know what they are. So let's try to decide and figure out what we are at the most important position. He's got 27 starts. Taylor Heineke's got 3. And Washington's got a defensive coach and a better running game, and they let him throw it. See, talk. Everybody's talking. What are you doing? I watched that team. Now, by the way, I don't know if it's going to work. The Giants are historically a conservative franchise, the accounting firm of the NFL. So they'll give him a third year, my guess is. But he's lost now 6 straight primetime games to open his career, and their 7th is Kansas City. So, what you're seeing, maybe it's just because what I'm seeing on national TV doesn't work for me. But what I really saw last night is a highly reluctant coaching staff with Daniel Jones in now his 27-28 start. So it was interesting. Albert Breer just talked about something. I mean, it surprised all of us when Green Bay was that bad. They weren't just bad. They were like awful. Worst team in the league. Aaron was the worst quarterback last week in the NFL. And Albert Breer talked about something that, Aaron did not, his comeback to the Packers, calling out the team, the aloofness. We've all known moody people, right? When you're around moody people, their highs are high, their lows are low. Jay Cutler was the great example. Like when Jay was great, he was great. But boy, meltdown Jay, he had, for a guy of Jay Cutler's talent, he had some really, really bad games. And so it's interesting when you watch that blowout. I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm not a psychologist, but it is interesting. So in the last 5 years, now Green Bay's these are the games Aaron started. In the last 5 years, as an MVP level quarterback, and we know it's a functionally well-run organization, and we know they're in a bad division, he's been blown out 10 times. 2 touchdowns or more losses in 5 years. Blown out. You say, well, I mean, what about Brady? Half that. What about Russell Wilson? Half that. Mahomes has been blown out in a better division 1 time in 3 years. In a much better division, I think. So is Aaron's moodiness and his temperament, when you're around moody people, you kind of walk on eggshells. Are there these occasional walk on eggshell weeks? A former offensive lineman of Aaron Rodgers once told me, you get a different Aaron some days. Tom, same Tom every day. Russell Wilson, same Russell Wilson every day. Aaron, you get a different Aaron. So this is interesting. So let's go to Aaron's first 5 years in the league. The worst team he ever played on was in that 6-10 team. That was the worst team, right? So this includes a bad 6-10 team. Aaron's first 5 years in the league was only blown out 4 times. Last 5 years, he's been blown out 2.5 times that. 10 times. The division's no better. The teams have more consistently better. They've back-to-back NFC championships, so the teams are better. The division still is a mess. Aaron's better. He's a reigning MVP, and he's been blown out 2.5 times as much. What would that be? Because Aaron wasn't as moody his first 5 years in the league. He wasn't as wealthy. He wasn't as powerful. He was replacing a legend. He wasn't a legend. So could I make the argument as his status, as he calls it that publicly, as his status has increased, his money has increased, his legend has increased, you get more of this Aaron. Aloof, arrogant. When you replace a legend, you're kind of on your best behavior. When you become the legend, your behavior can change if you are, by nature, a little moodier, a little more temperamental. I don't know this to be true, but I do think it's interesting. He's blown out 4 times, and that included a bad team his first 5 years. They've been blown out 10 times in the last 5. I didn't count the games that he didn't play. Division's no better. Aaron's better. The team's more consistently functional. And you get games like you saw, where Aaron was the worst player in the league. We know Aaron last year was arguably the best player in the league. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.